Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amberly and I own and run DesertHardt Dairy Goats here in Yuma, Arizona. And for this evening, I am finishing up my milk test number 6. So if you guys have been following me for a while, and if you haven't, I'll fill you in, but I am on milk test, which is DHIA, Dairy Herd Improvement Association, or registry. Depending on which one you're looking at. I am on owner sample 40, which means that I have to milk for a minimum of 240 days and complete 8 tests. I do have the option, however, to go all the way to 305 days and however many tests that I can complete within 305 days, but the minimum is 8. So there's 2 more days left in this month of July. I am squeezing in a second test for the month of July. I'm going to try to hit it every 21 to 23 days is how soon you can send in each milk test, because there does have to be a time period between each test. 21 to 23 is about that sweet spot. So in order for me to get as many tests in as I can possible before I dry up early to mid-November, it's crunch time. So as I'm sure you can hear the girls. I am waiting 24 more minutes. I am going to start my milk test at 7 o'clock. I started at 7 o'clock this morning, so I'm going to finish it at 7 o'clock this evening. What milk testing is what your dough can produce within a 24-hour window. More or less, it's usually 2 milkings. I do know some herds drop down to once a day milking. I, however, am not one of those girls. I like to consistently keep my herd on twice a day milkings all the way up until I dry them up for the season. So with that, the 7 o'clock milking was 12 hours ago, and then the 7 o'clock evening milking is obviously a 12-hour window. So I milked out at 7 o'clock yesterday night, milked 7 o'clock this morning, and then 7 o'clock this evening. So it is a 24-hour window. Now, we have had some brutal heat these last couple of weeks, or this last month and a half to be realistic. 116 has just been the normal. It has taken a toll and a hit on milk production drastically. The one I'm most shocked about probably is trouble. I have some does that are only a few ounces from this morning's milking is what I'm going off of, but a few girls are only a few ounces away from producing the amount that trouble is currently. So for the other girls to be catching trouble in milk production, you can see that this heat is taking a toll on trouble. I'm hoping that within this next month and a half to 2 months, when the monsoon seasons come through and the nicer weather comes with it, that she peaks her production up a bit more. So I do currently have all 6 of my does that I am milking on milk test. That is Trouble, Maple, Pixie, Taylor, Cheyenne, and Poppy. And I can hear Trouble just right outside the door right there. She is angry that she's not in here. But since we are just a few minutes out, I am going to get my milk machine and my jars and inflations all set up. And then once I get everything all set up, I'm going to give you guys a rundown of how everything looks and show you a little bit of milk testing this evening. I do move quickly. I don't know, I like to race the clock. So when you start your milk testing, when you start milk testing that morning or evening, whichever one, you write down the time that you start and you write down the time that you quit. So I try to race the clock, but I'm going to show you guys and take you guys along with me and just kind of show you what it's about. So my lighting towards the evening is not the best, so I'm going to apologize, but I just set my jars up as usual. My inflation hose. Now what I do is I have both of these jars. I'm going to milk 1 goat at a time, even though my machine is capable to milk 2 at a time. I'm not dealing with that right now. So I have 2 separate jars. What I do is I have the pressure hose and then I'll have the inflation hose connected. Once I'm done milking out this goat, this jar will be up there. I'll swap the inflation hose to this jar and then move to the next goat. That way everything that goat produces is in this jar. However, I do have smaller little buckets that I will hand strip what the milk machine does not get out. The milk machine is designed to obviously milk your goat, but you don't want it to completely strip the goat. So it does not to completely empty the udder. It can do damage like no one's business. So that's why we have this little pressure gauge. We regulate how much pressure the machine is putting on the teats of the goat. Anyhow, we hand strip what's left in the udder in this bucket. From there, it's a lot of stuff. We have a third bucket. This gets dumped into there. After I tear the weight of this bucket, dump this in there, dump this in here, and then this bucket gets weighed, it gets recorded, a sample gets taken from each goat, and then it gets dumped in a dump bucket, and the process and cycle goes all over again. So we'll set this one up. I hear my phone go ding. Okay. Now we set this up. It's down. Right over here. So yeah, anywho. We have the bucket that we're gonna weigh and tear. We have the ladle. We have the 2 hand strip buckets. Got some teat spray. Have a certified scale that I had calibrated and certified and approved with my DHIA lab. So I use Washington. Yeah, and just, anywho, you guys know the gist. I got all my fancy things on it, my numbers and stuff. And then as far as vials, everyone's got their names on them. We just kind of hand write them. Washington isn't nothing fancy. There's some other ones that names are written on there fancy or with labels. This one not so much. But what they look like before there's milk samples in them. Mine just kind of does like a little swab of the preservative at the bottom. Some of them have it more on the sides than others. And this lab does reuse their milk sample vials. So there is sometimes a protein buildup. But as long as you see that orange at the bottom, nothing to worry about. I actually need to order more. So I don't think I'm going to have enough for how many tests I want to get accomplished. You get fancy lab sheets that record your time and your samples and just everything else. This is last month, this is current. I just use this little notebook for hand scratch just in case I mess up or spill something. It's on this, and this isn't as important. I do take a picture of this at the end of everything as my phone is blowing up. Sorry, apologies. But I use this, and then from there I take this information, I transfer it to the actual lab sheets that I have to send to my Washington lab at the very end. But this is just so I don't ruin the nice stuff. So honestly, the hardest part about milk testing probably is getting signed up and jumping through all the hoops for picking out your lab and then your processing center. So I use Washington DHIA, and then my processing center is DRMS in Raleigh, North Carolina. So those are the two that I selected. They're pissed. Like, they're so mad at me right now. They can hear me and they're not in here, and they know that there's snacks and cookies and good stuff. But so Washington and DRMS are my lab and processing center. That's probably the hardest part, is getting signed up. It's honestly probably really daunting to think about. But the ladies in those offices and the customer service and support are amazing. They're super great. Julie at Washington, if there's any questions that she has, she calls me on my cell, and just, they're super nice. They're so sweet. Don't be scared to sign up. The next hardest part probably is just sticking with a schedule and being consistent for each test. Like I said, I try to knock a test out every 21 to 23 days. I have goals, I have shows I gotta go to, so I'm trying to get as many tests out as possible, because when I utter up a doe for a show, obviously it's telling her body, hey, I don't need to make as much milk, which in return also puts stress on her, so her production is gonna drop. So my goal is to get as many tests out before the next coming show or linear appraisal. Not only that is this heat, so I'm trying to, you know, I'm just trying to squash my goals as quickly as possible, and that's just one way to do it. You do have to have a verification tester. What that means is that somebody other than myself, which I've shared a video last year showing my verification testing. If you guys want to check that out, I'll probably, whichever corner it is, I'm not good at this yet, but it'll be in one of the corners. You guys can click that video if you'd like, or it'd be down in the description of the show notes. But anyways, verification tester comes out. I milk my goats. However, all the milk sampling, weighing, and writing of the numbers is that verification tester and not me. I touch none of those samples, none of those papers, and that's the day that you schedule with that verified and certified tester. So what that means is that that individual person has taken the test with your lab, and then gotten their certificate showing that they are certified to be a milk tester or a verification tester. Anyways, we got 10 minutes to go. I'm gonna finish cleaning things up, get my grain restocked and my mats wiped down, so I will check back with you guys here in just a short few 10 minutes, and then we'll unleash the beasts. Pixie! Wait. Pixie up. Pixie up. Trouble! Hey! Stop that. Okay. Alright, so just a little, I'll just kind of give you guys like the rundown of how I do things. Trouba's going to be milked out first. Taylor in the center, I am going to hand milk myself because she just doesn't have enough milk. She's not producing enough for me to really justify using the machine anymore. And then Pixie will be third and last. I don't know how much you guys saw because my camera just shut off, but there's a perforated line once you fill up the evening sample. Give it a good little mix, and then this will go in the refrigerator until it's time to ship it. So hers is done. Maybe I should keep checking to make sure my camera doesn't shut off. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. Okay. Some people clean their buckets in between. I found there makes no difference. I've talked to my lab. There's such a minimal trace of milk left that it's not going to mess with my somatic cell count, my protein, my butter fat, none of that. So that saves me a little time. Up next, we have Trouble. Here, my bucket. We're reading 0. In there. And then pull what we hand milked out. While that drips, I'm going to spray everyone real quick. Okay. Let's see what we got. Hopefully the same as this morning. 1.6. So we are 1 ounce more than this morning. So I'll take that. Take her sample before we forget. Again, there's a perforated line right there on the vial. It kind of tells me where I need to fill to. Which, luckily enough, this little scoop fills perfect to that line. A little mix, and she is good. Let me hand milk Pixie out. Okay. Hand milk Pixie out. Let me get the girls out. Up next, we have Pixie. Can I get my white shirt dirty? I almost didn't wear a white shirt because I never wear a white shirt. Okay, Pixie. Let me tear the bucket. Okay. I'll pour this in here. It always makes me feel good when a goat actually makes more in the evening than the morning, because the evening is actually a lot hotter. In the morning, they've had all night to just kind of relax, digest their dinner, enjoy a little bit of the cooler temperatures, to where morning to evening, they've had the roughest time. 1.3, yeah. 1.25, so we're going to round that up, so it's 1.3. And she made 1.5 this morning. So she is down. It's okay, nothing terrible. Pixie's actually the one that is the closest contender to trouble. So, yeah, Pixie is. Pixie and then Poppy. Poppy wasn't far behind. She was 1 ounce behind trouble this morning, so we'll see what Poppy does this evening. If you guys have been with me for a bit, you know that Poppy is the grandma goat. She's 9 years old. I know I told you guys that she was retired. I don't know. She might do one more breeding. I don't know. Just because I got Player, and I think that cross would make some outstanding kids. But anyways, my thoughts, not yours. Anyways, Poppy, you know, even though her age, even though she is 9, she stays really consistent with how much milk that she produces, to where everyone is super high in production very early on in their freshening, to where then later on down the road, when we're, you know, 150 plus days in and they're dropping down, Poppy stays really steady and consistent, which I love about her. Next group. Royal, you're not in the group. You have to have babies first. Cheyenne. Alright. Put it right there. Yep. I know, you're mad. Just kidding. change, don't forget to change the hose from one goat to the other, because that would ruin way too much. Don't forget that. Almost just made a really, really bad rookie mistake. Pouring Poppy's milk that was milked out into her hand strip bucket. That way I can do Maple right away so she's not waiting too long. There. Switch the bucket. Okay. So for the most part, all the main milking is done. I just need to hand strip out Maple. Let me spray. All right, so let's get Poppy's milk weighed. That way we can get her out of here. So again, share the bucket. We're gonna pour Poppy's milk in. Grab Poppy's vial. Okay. And let's see if she can beat her 1.4. Nope. 1.2. Dang it. 2 ounces down from this morning. Dang, pop, pop. Still not bad though. Especially with it being 116, still not bad. I'll take it. Alright. Bit of that line. Okay. Dump that in our bucket. Let's get Maple there. Get Maple hand stripped. So I can get the rest of the group out. Here. There you go. Cheyenne's turn is next. She's not a big producer. I'm not mad about it. I was hoping, I mean, she's doing better than Taylor. Cheyenne and Taylor are half sisters. Their sire is Johnny. Cheyenne is doing better than Taylor on milk test. They're first fresheners. You guys didn't tell me to tear the bucket. So, thanks for that. Let's try to get every little remnant out so it doesn't count towards the negative weight. Okay, next time tell me to tear the bucket so you don't have to do this twice. All right, bucket is teared. Let's pour this in here. As I was saying, Cheyenne is a lower producer than I was hoping, but she is a first freshener, so I'll forgive her. She is beating her half-sister Taylor on production. Both will earn their stars, they just won't earn them in volume. So 0.8, Cheyenne was 0.9 this morning, so not too bad. As I was saying, they will earn a star. They will earn, what is that star? The ST. So they'll earn their standard star, which is just for butter, fat, and protein. However, they will not earn their advanced registry star because they have not met in volume. Because they have not met in volume, therefore, until they do so, they will not be producing star B bucks, or cannot help produce star B bucks. So that's how that works. Maple's earned her advanced registry, Trouble, Pixie, Poppy. So it's just my two first fresheners, just Cheyenne and Taylor, which is totally fine. It's understandable. I almost just scared myself, but I forgot I put Maple stuff behind me. Alright. Last but not least, Miss Maple May. Tear that bucket. Pour her hand strip out. She did a decent amount. She's also not a crazy producer, which is why I've crossed her with Zeus last year, which gave me Mini May. So I'm hoping I get the show confirmation with the milk production. That's the goal. So we'll see how that does when May freshens this coming spring. 1 pound exactly, which is just fine because she did 1.1 this morning. So everyone went down except for Trouble. Trouble went up an ounce. Just as I was saying that Trouble was dropping, she shows that she can increase at the hottest time of the day. Even though overall she did drop a bit. So that is the end of our milk testing for evening. As it see, this is why you do scratch notebook, because you get stuff on it. And we ended our time at 7:27, so it is going to be 19:27 for military time. So it took me 24 minutes to complete this morning's milking without talking to you guys, and it only took me 27 minutes to finish tonight, so 3 minutes extra just talking to you guys, which hopefully you guys enjoy me talking. I hope to think that you do. I enjoy talking to you guys. I enjoy when you guys comment and talk to me. I love that. In case you guys haven't noticed, I do reply to almost 95 to 100% of your guys' comments, just because that's the type of person I am. Someday, maybe, if I'm ever a big YouTuber, I still plan to have that goal and reply to everyone that comments. So we did it, and I missed Maple's evening before I dumped it, which is fine because there is a part on, which I'm not mad that I just made a boo-boo in front of you guys. It shows I'm not perfect, and it shows you guys what to do in case this ever happens to you. Don't fret, don't panic. I did get a milk weight for her, so it's not bad. However, I did miss the evening sample. So as you see, hers is a little less than everyone else. On her paperwork, I'm just gonna mark that I missed evening sample. Nothing too terrible. This is still enough for them to run it. Just not ideal because they're not gonna be able to gauge. They're not gonna be able to gauge her butter, fat, and protein since I missed that evening. They're not gonna be able to gauge it as accurately, but it's not the end of the world. It's the end of my world slightly because I'm OCD, but it's okay. It's all right. The world goes on. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed just a little bit of the insight of our evening milk testing. Like I said, I do have to do a minimum of 8, and this is number 6, so I've got 2 more for sure to go. However, my goal, I think I'm going to go for 12 or 13 milk tests total. So I've got a lot to go. I'm almost halfway there, technically. But I'm going to go to 12. I'm almost halfway there. If you guys enjoy videos like this, please comment down below just specifically what you're looking for. I'd love to make a video and hopefully help you on your dairy goat journey or your milk testing journey in general. Alright guys, that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, if you haven't already, please ding that notification bell so you don't miss any more of my videos. Subscribe to my channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Bye.